This is our regular Tuesday, October 21st meeting, and I'm going to call this regular business meeting to order at exactly 6 p.m. Thank you. We're glad you're here, and the first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the question and vote electronically, please. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. The agenda is approved. Item number 3 is our invocation, and tonight our County Attorney Adam Nelson was going to do it, but he has a funeral in his future. I think one of his relatives has passed away, and I believe he may be going to come with us tomorrow. But I'm going to ask Kurt Worthington, who is filling in for Nelson Law Group, and if Kurt, could I ask you to do the invocation?
Yes, sir. And do y'all stand or do y'all stand?
No, we see. Turn the mic on.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as this body of officials takes up the business of Putnam County, I ask you bless this meeting and everything that transpires in it. Please continue to provide wisdom to the elected and appointed officials of the county, and may all actions taken here tonight be in keeping with your will. It's in your name I pray, amen.
Amen, and thank you very much. Tonight I'm going to ask that you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Commissioner Hersey, could I ask you to lead, please? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 5 is a special presentation. It's called Operation Green Light for the Veterans 2025 Proclamation. I'll ask all of our guys to go down front. And Paul, would you read the proclamation? And I think everyone has signed that.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go down front, gentlemen.
Whereas the residents of Putnam County, Georgia have great respect, admiration, and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have served our country and the community in the armed forces, and whereas the contributions and sacrifices of those who served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedom and way of life by our citizens in Putnam County, seeks to honor individuals who have made countless sacrifices for freedom by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas veterans continue to serve our community in the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, religious groups, civil groups, and by functioning as county veteran service officers in 29 states to help fellow former service members access more than $52 billion in federal health, disability, and compensation benefits each year. And whereas approximately 200,000 service members transition to civilian communities annually, and an estimated 20% increase of service members will transition to civilian life in the near future. And whereas studies indicate that 44 to 72% of the service members experience high levels of stress during transition from military to civilian life, and active military service members transitioning from the military service are at high risk of suicide during their first year after military service. And whereas the National Association of Counties encourages all counties, parishes, and boroughs to recognize Operation Greenlight for veterans. Whereas Putnam County appreciates the sacrifices of the United States military personnel and believes specific recognition should be granted, now therefore be it resolved, with designation as a green light for Veterans County, Putnam County hereby declares November 4th through 11th, 2025 as a time to salute and honor the service and sacrifices of those transitioning from active service, and be it further resolved that in observance of Operation Greenlight, Putnam County, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and American Legion honor its veterans at the Veterans Wall of Honor. Be it further resolved that Putnam County encourages its citizens in a patriotic tradition to recognize the importance of honoring all those who made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom by displaying green lights in a window of their place of business or residence from November 4th through the 11th, 2025. Proclaim the 21st day of October. Chairman Sharp, Commissioner McEnany, Commissioner Garrett, Commissioner Hershey, Commissioner Wooten.
When you're about half blind, you have to get your glasses. I see great back there when they put the new lens in. I just can't read. And thank you, Paul, and for that special presentation. Next on the list is a zoning public hearing, and I will now open the zoning public hearing. Mercy, is this the sheet for the zoning? Okay. No one signed in for the zoning public hearing, so we will move along. The zoning public hearing, it was a request by Tyler and Allie Mathis to rezone 1 acre, 1.0 acres, at 166 Dennis Station Road from AG to R1, map 060, part of parcel 026004 001. That's in District 4. The applicant has requested to withdraw without prejudice. I will, since they've requested withdrawal without prejudice, I will entertain a motion. District 4, you have that opportunity.
Yes, sir. I would like to approve the request by Tyler and Allie Mathis to rezone 1.0 acres at 166 Dennis Station Road from Ag to R1, map 060, part of a parcel 026004 001 in District 4.
And now finish they're requesting.
Yeah, and the applicant is requesting to withdraw without prejudice.
So your motion is to allow that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the motion is on the floor. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Commissioner Hershey.
First of all, this is kind of a lazy man's question. Are single wides allowed in R1? No. Most of the questions are for, Lisa can answer or somebody can answer, but, but single wides are allowed in ag, is that correct?
Single wide is allowed in R2, and they are allowed in ag.
One of the problems, so they're not allowed in R1. What happens if we deny the request to withdraw without prejudice? What happens to this application? Does it go back to the P&Z for a formal hearing on the request?
So if you didn't deny the request for withdrawal, then you would have to make the decision what your motion would be.
So if the single wides are not allowed in R1 and we deny the request, then we would have no choice but to deny the application? Is that correct?
Right. No. Yes, you would, because it's I think they're trying to subdivide it. So yes, you would. They wouldn't be able to subdivide it because it would be non-conforming in ag.
Right. But they're allowed to have more than one house in ag. Is that correct? I mean,
No.
I'm not sure I understand what exactly they are trying to do here. They're trying to cut out 1 acre with the single wide on it. And of course, they can't put that single wide into an R1 district.
Right.
So they would have to change whatever, but is it their intention to rent or sell the 1 acre with the single wide on it? I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure whether they're gonna rent it or sell it, but I do know that they want to cut it out.
And they wouldn't be allowed to, for example, build their house on the other remaining 10.52 acres or whatever it is, and then remove the single wide from, and keep everything ag. I mean, is that a possibility?
So they're asking to cut it out. Isn't there something else already on that property, the larger tract? So they're cutting that out, so that the single wide can be put on that particular parcel. And we recently removed the family dwelling from the ordinance, but when it was in place, it couldn't be a manufactured home.
Again, I'm just being kind of lazy. I could look all this up in the ordinance myself, but I appreciate your straightening me out. But the bottom line is that if we deny the withdrawal without prejudice, that we would have to make an actual vote on the application as it stands, which is an illegal application because it's placing a single wide in an R1 district. But that's the bottom line of it, isn't it?
That's my opinion. Of course, you have the attorney here, and I'll let him weigh in.
Yes, Commissioner. I think the motion on the floor is to allow them to withdraw that request without prejudice. So if that vote fails, then in turn, then there would be a vote on the actual request itself.
And we could amend that to have them withdraw it with prejudice. Is that correct?
You could amend
The motion.
the
It
motion.
stands on the floor.
That's something I'd have to look into, honestly, just because I don't know if what that means as far as the zoning application. I mean, typically you could amend something like that.
And it is a motion, so we could amend it, but
Any other? Yes,
thank you,
Commissioner.
Lisa.
Commissioner Garrett.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see clear evidence in the packet that the single wide would be placed on the 1 acre parcel. That seems unclear to me. So I'm not quite sure that we're in a position to say that they're going to flout the ordinance at this stage.
Right.
Yes, Commissioner Wooten.
I'd hate, it goes back to some of the things that we have done in the past. I mean, and have run upon in the past. This is these people's land, and they have not got the, from what I can gather, the request from ag to R1 yet. Am I clear on that?
Right.
Okay, so really, they just are trying to get it back to keep it in ag, right? And you can put anything you want to, I mean, as far as a single wide or something like that, in ag. Am I right on that?
No, they're trying to rezone it from ag.
From ag, okay, all right. But they were requesting to withdraw that,
Right, they want
right?
to withdraw it withdraw
With
it
prejudice
without
that they can come back later.
Without prejudice.
Without prejudice, that,
Right.
okay.
So without prejudice means that they can bring it back at any time.
And, but then, what is that?
Anytime,
Okay,
as long as they meet the deadline.
all right, I think if it's theirs, they can pretty much do as they please and, until we make a move on it. Am I right in that? As far as putting a
So
single
they
wide,
have a right to request
right.
the withdrawal. That's what they're
Right.
asking. That's what's before you. So they have a right to request. So
Right.
They do have a right to request that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all this gives it, is the right to request, no
Yeah.
more, no less.
Request. And the only thing they're asking is that it be removed and give them the opportunity to bring it back without prejudice, meaning that they don't have to wait 12 months to bring it
Right.
back.
Right.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the question and vote electronically. And let me repeat, the motion is to allow the applicant who's requested to withdraw without prejudice. And I'll read the exact, it's Tyler and Ally Mathis to rezone an acre at 166 Dennis Station Road from AG to R1, map 060, part of parcel 026-004-001 in District 4. Vote electronically. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, and 4 vote yea. District 3 votes nay. The motion will carry, and the applicant will be allowed to withdraw without prejudice. I will now close the zoning public hearing and open the ordinance public hearing. The ordinance public hearing is item number 7. And it's proposed adoption of a change to the Putnam County Code of Ordinance, Chapter 1, General Provision. Mercy, has anybody signed in to speak on that? No one has signed in to speak on that, so we'll move forward. I think that we need to go to the provision. There's only one item there, and basically it's defining a business day. And it says the term business day means Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., except holidays. I believe we probably need to get a motion on the floor, and then we can discuss it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move that we adopt the proposed change to the Putnam County Code of Ordinance, Chapter 1, General Provisions.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Now, is there discussion? Commissioner Hersey, you made the motion?
This is really just a housekeeping issue. Some time ago, I noticed that we had no definition for a business day. A business day comes up in several instances, and we have as yet to define what a business day actually is. So, as I say, it's a bit of a housekeeping thing. Now it will have some conflicts, particularly the question of if a open records request is submitted, when does the 3-day response time start? I mean, if it is submitted after 5 o'clock, and this change in the ordinance is adopted, does it start the next day? This is a question that will have to be worked out with the clerk's office. I don't know of any other particular conflict. I think that any issue which is brought up outside of what is being defined as a business day would spill over to the next day. So, for example, if we have a draft agenda or an agenda which is sent out from the clerk's office, if it's sent out after 5 o'clock, then it would be considered to be sent out the following day. It's just a question of when should people do things that they ought to do. I mean, that's all. I mean, can I stop looking at my emails after 5 o'clock? That's really what it's all about. Thank you, sir.
Any other discussion? Hearing none.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to mention one thing. When I read it, when it has the exception for holidays, I didn't know if y'all would want to consider defining if it's like a federally recognized holiday or state recognized holiday. If that's not already do you publish them? Okay, if that's already published, then you're good. I just want.
We publish the holidays
Okay.
the first of every year.
Okay, good deal. I just wanted to make sure that was one thing that I was thinking could be something that wasn't as clear. I just wanted to make sure we were good on that. Thank you.
Any others? Hearing none, I'll call for the question and vote electronically. The motion on the floor is to identify a business day in the ordinance. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. We will make that change. This will now close the ordinance public hearing, and I'll open the regular business meeting. And number one on the regular business meeting is public comments. Mercy has already brought the sheet, and we have 3 people signed in to speak. And first is Bill Vargo. This is the one you sent in the email, I believe.
Good evening. I'd like to talk about the District 3 report I got the other day in my email that the commissioner sent out. I want to point out some misleading information in it that's been sent out through the county, obviously, and I'd like to see it corrected. The property tax issues, talking about the senior exemption, fair market value is spoken of in this report. The law, as it's written, House Bill 1413, does not use fair market value in their calculations. They used assessed value, which is 40% different. And if you go through this, you'll see, even if you change the calculations from fair market value to assessed value of 40%, these numbers don't add up. They don't calculate out to what the law actually reads. I've included a copy of the law there. It starts on line 22. It describes what is trying to be described here. And the law is what the law, this does not follow the law. So this is some very misleading information that's been handed out by our commissioner. And I would hope that he would correct it and recirculate this information. We got the Sinclair drawdown, we know about that. Another thing that was brought to my attention tonight was the work sessions that we're going to have tomorrow. And in this report, at the bottom it says, please attend the work sessions, lend your opinions. Well, tonight we're told public can't speak. So that's some more misleading information. The public's going to maybe show up tomorrow thinking that they can speak, and they're not going to be able to. So I would suggest that some of this information gets corrected here and re-emailed out to everybody that was emailed on. Another thing that's being spoken of was the gas station, which is described by this commissioner as being a truck stop. Well, obviously you don't know what a truck stop is. You need to look up the definition. This facility isn't big enough for a truck stop. There's 3 acres. Part of that 3 acres is going to be leach field. You can't park semi-trucks on a leach field. Everybody knows that, obviously. So there is not enough room for this to be a parking lot for trucks. There is no lounge area, which is included in a truck stop. There is no showers.
I'm sorry, the time is up. The buzzer didn't go off, but
Oh, really? That was quick.
that was 3 minutes. Thank you, Bill. Next on the agenda is Barb Vargo. Barb? The alarm didn't go off.
Okay. What I come in here to talk about is the work session. We're already a month into this, and nothing's being said, nothing's being done about what's going to happen. We go to the work session, and we're not even going to be able to say anything there, which is really upsetting. I mean, I believe that Lisa and them have gotten it together, and I like the idea when they're saying, okay, we're going to change this commercial, but you've got a year to do what you're going to do, or we're going to change it back. Great idea. They've done it before, and it works. I really am really upset that we still have 6 months into this. Now we're into 5, and we're still procrastinating. We got to get something done, guys. We got to open up the county. I was asking for a report as to how much the rezoning that cost and how much has been done within a year, and I still haven't got that back. But once I do, I will make sure that you all get an information on that, because I think we are totally losing a lot of money. You're going to raise our mill, and you won't want business in here. And I don't care what you say, it's got to be, if you're going to do what we did, it doesn't need to be north of 16. It's all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. And we have one other, and that is Billy Webster.
Chairman, Commissioners, staff, Mr. Worthington, good to see you again, sir. It's been a long time. First thing I'd like to do is offer my thanks and appreciation to your deputy clerk, Ms. Fluker, who taught me something about my phone that I didn't know about, which hopefully you'll benefit from in just a couple of minutes. I got 2 issues to discuss tonight, and they have to do with roads, basically. If I could draw your attention to what I put in front of you, which is Exhibit A to the resolution that approved T-SPLOS number 2. In that, at that time, and for the purposes of the live streaming, we estimated that $15 million would be spent on resurfacing, $375,000 on right-of-way maintenance, and $3 million on intersection improvements. I'd like to focus on the intersection improvements for the first one. And my thanks to Dr. Hersey for reminding me about this and recommending an intersection. And I'd like to nominate for, and I'm hoping there's money still left in the intersection improvements. Hopefully we haven't spent $3 million yet. The intersection of Dennis Station and Twin Bridges. And Mercy, if you could put the video up, please. You see where the white line is? And I want you to look to the left to see the line of sight. And you'll notice there's going to be a vehicle come by right now that almost hit him. That is the shortcut for people that live in Twin Bridges going north to Eatonton. We use that road all the time. You'll notice I'm walking towards the road right now. And now you can see up the road, and I measured that. That's 6.5 feet from the asphalt of Twin Bridges. If I were in a car, the hood of my car would have been over the asphalt on Twin Bridges. There is no line of sight to the left, I'm sorry to say. That needs to be corrected, or we're going to have a horrendous accident. And recall, if you will, Dennis Station is where Intra4 is located, and we've got major trucks bringing in products and leaving with finished products that use Twin Bridges, and they turn right there. And if they come to a complete stop, it takes them a few seconds, and the people on that road travel at 55 and 60 miles an hour. That's just an accident waiting to happen. Mercy, could you put up the other? You'll notice where the white line is where you're supposed to stop. Can you see anything to the left? I can't. I have to move all the way up and put the hood of my car at the asphalt before I can see left, and it's almost as bad to the right. I think you get the point.
Thank you. The time is up. I'm sorry, the alarm is not working. Thank you for the presentation.
Went mighty fast.
That is all that has signed in to speak under public comments, so we will move along to item number 9. Item number 9 is the consent agenda. Tonight on the consent agenda is the approval of the minutes of October 3rd, 2025 regular business meeting. And item B is authorization for the chairman to sign the ACCG Safety Discount Verification Form. If there's no objections to any of these items, I will call for a motion to...
Mr. Chairman, maybe we deal with each of these two items separately?
We certainly can. What are you suggesting?
Well, there's only
Item
two
A
items,
first?
so item A, can we deal with that first, and then item B?
So you're asking for
A
the...
motion with regard to item A and a motion with regard to item B separately.
We can do that, I believe, without a problem. So we'll deal with item A first. I don't think we need to take a vote for that, I don't think. We can just do that, no vote is needed. So I'll call for approval of minutes of October 3rd, 2025 regular business meeting. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion is second. Is there any discussion? Here-
Mr. Chairman, was my motion.
Commissioner Hersey.
So, thank you. As you're aware, I was not present at the October 3rd regular business meeting. And there were an item there which causes me some concern. And that is the approval of the abandonment of Wooten Road and Joe Wooten Road. First, I would ask whoever, I guess our attorney, question of are we, when we abandon those roads, are we also abandoning any right-of-way that the county possesses?
So typically, when you do a road abandonment, it would be any interest that you have in whatever property or whatever road you're abandoning. I don't know the specifics on that one, but that's generally how that works.
So, I mean, according to the stipulations under it, we should quit claim any right-of-way that we have to...
There is a process for disposing of the property once you abandon it. Sometimes it depends on the age of the road or the age of when you acquired it, but there is a way to normally to dispose of it back to where it was acquired.
If we do quit claim a property, a right-of-way, who would benefit from that quit claim?
I beg your, I'm sorry, sir, could you repeat that?
Benefit from the quick claim.
Who would benefit from the quit claim? Would it be the adjacent property
So,
owners?
yes, sir. Typically, when you abandon a road and dispose of it, it goes to whatever adjacent owners on there. And again, it sounds very simple. Sometimes it can be more complicated. We've had whole cases about that kind of thing, but typically that's how it would be. It would just go to those adjacent owners, or whoever it was acquired from originally.
Okay, so at least as far as we are provided with the information, the county had the road for maintenance, I guess. I don't know. Paul, do you know, did we have a right-of-way?
I don't believe that road was ever accepted by the county, neither one of them. And I will tell you, through the
Then why are we
grapevine,
abandoning it?
because it was a belt and suspender approach by Adam, just to clear it up, because there was so much controversy centered around it. And that's why we're doing it.
But
To
do we
officially abandon
do we
any-
have any right-of-way?
It was any perceived interest, I think, is how he wrote it up.
Yeah, and I can comment a little on that, not for this one specific, but for that idea behind that, the concept behind that, because we've had that in others where with other clients where there's a potential dispute, or just a road that, hey, we don't know if it doesn't look like it was ever accepted or built out or anything like that. You can do an abandonment in that situation. It's basically, it's actually similar to how you would do a quitclaim deed, because a quitclaim deed is just saying, hey, I'm giving you whatever I got. So when you abandon a road that hasn't been built out, you're basically saying, hey, we're not saying that we necessarily accepted this, but to the extent we had any interest in it, we're abandoning it. And we've done that in the past for again, it is sort of a belt and suspenders method to just sort of take it off the books type thing.
So you're just playing it by ear?
I wouldn't say playing it by ear. It's a method to make sure that there's sort of tie up loose ends.
Well, welcome to Putnam County. My concern is that at the October 3rd meeting, Commissioner Wooten made the motion to do the final step in abandoning that road, and also voted for it. He also voted in the past for the other steps involved in abandoning that road, or those two roads. And so my question is Commissioner Wooten benefiting from the abandonment of this road in terms of getting possession of property, or having access to a quitclaim for the property? And if so, I would ask Commissioner Wooten to explain why that is not a conflict of interest.
Well, I can't comment on the title of it. I don't know who's the record owner or anything like that. And again, I do think it would matter too who originally. I mean, if there was it would imagine who dedicated it in the first place, that type of thing.
Other comments? Go, Commissioner Wooten.
You want me to explain this one more time?
If you'd like.
Okay.
You have the floor.
As it's been explained 2 or 3 times, people, it was an agricultural community years ago before they built Lake Oconee. And it turned into a recreational center. Lake Sinclair was not really big at the time. But the agricultural community, pretty much, it was, it's not written down. If you had a business, a dairy or two on a road, or pretty much anywhere a feed bin was, a feed truck or a milk truck went, the county either kept you gravel or either paved, depending on what the traffic here and the in and out was. So my father died in '99. We had the place surveyed, and the lawyer come back, and I said, is this a private road? And previously, the previous commissioner in District 4 told me that it was a private road. And and the lawyer said, there's no deed anywhere where y'all deeded it over to the county. That was just something that the county did for the farmers at the time, because the farmers supported the county more than any kind of industry in the county at the time. Okay, that being said, in the last 30 to 35 years, and the point proven on this, we never moved our mailboxes down to Joe Wooten Road or Wooten Road. We always kept them up on Highway 129, which is now called the Gray Road. And that's where we receive our mail at, because it's never been considered a county road. Now, I didn't ask to live on Joe Wooten Road. Joe Wooten Road and Wooten Road was named. My old address is Route 1, Box 244. That was our driveway to go in and out of our farm. And that's where we coming from there. So when they surveyed it, they went back on all the surveys, and I've got the plat. I'll be gladly present it to you, to where the middle of the road is the property line, and always has been. Now, In the last 30, 35 years, the county's done nothing to it. The school buses never come down that road. They always stop up there on 129. And it's just the money I've spent putting gravel on the dirt road and a pipe over there. They never did any of that in the last 30, 35 years because really there wasn't nobody living on that road. Now, we've taken care of pretty much on the paved part of it, putting cement in patches and stuff like that. Now, that is the way this has evolved to where it was. Now, the abandonment did come. That was the only way that we could resolve this, as our lawyer said, is just abandon it. So pretty much that's where we stand today. And that was the way I was advised to go about it. And, to be truthful with you, I was just trying to save the county money. If it's a county road, if it was a county road, I would have asked to have gravel instead of, last fall, I just put $2,800 worth of gravel on it, on the dirt road, and put a pipe in for drainage and stuff, been maintaining and cutting the grass. Y'all seen it, or at least somebody's seen it. They come out and took pictures of everything, my house included. So I kind of wondered if those get out, is somebody going to come and rob my house knowing that I'm not there at certain times of day? But, that's just the way it is, and that's the way it was. I'm just following through with what the county has done in the past. And that's the explanation. Thank you.
Sorry, other comments? Commissioner McElhaney?
So does the county own any of that road?
Not that could be proven.
So then why are we still talking about it?
It became a political issue, and in an event to clearing it up, Adam made that recommendation that we abandon it, and we're trying to clean it up, and that was the last step.
So I see absolutely no problem moving forward.
Oh, you got one last time there, Commissioner Herson.
Yeah, are there any other roads in the county that the county maintains that are not listed on as county roads?
There better not be.
This was listed as a county road. Is that correct?
Sir, I don't know how it was listed or how it was perceived. We just couldn't find it in the clerk of court's office. There was no legal paperwork.
But your list of county roads includes these two roads?
I believe it was on the list.
Yes, yeah. So that list is why we're here, to abandon it. And I have just, I guess, one other question. I assume that the properties adjacent to this are owned by some member of the Wooten family. Is that,
I don't know what that has to do with this, but
it has to do with if we have right-of-way, and I don't know that we do or don't, that the quitclaim is to some member of the Wooten family, I gather. I don't know.
Commissioner McElhaney.
So let me get this right. The county does not own that property. Is that correct?
Not that we can find.
And to do a quitclaim deed is to give up any perceived benefit that the county has. Is that correct?
So I think that was the abandonment process.
Right.
Does that.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't actually have to do a deed afterward. Like I said, I think if you're doing an abandonment of a road that was never built out, in order for it to have been a county road, it had to be dedicated, it had to be accepted, and it had to be opened. It just being on a list of county roads does not, that by virtue of its own doesn't mean it was ever a county road. So without those three elements, it's not going to be considered a county road. So And if you do that abandonment process, again, you don't have to, we've done it before, you don't necessarily have to do like a quitclaim deed of that interest back. That's an additional step you can do, but legally speaking, once it's abandoned, it's like our interest in it is gone. Any interest it would have had. It sounds like in this one, if you can't find evidence that it was ever dedicated and accepted and open, it likely wasn't a county road anyways. It could have just appeared on a list, by accident, or we've had them before where people filed old, subdivision plats and the roads were never built out and things like that. So again, even it being on a plat doesn't mean it was stamped by the county, doesn't mean it's a county road. It can be complicated. We had a huge case that we had to deal with this exact issue once, so it can be a very complicated whether or not what makes it a road, but you have to have those three elements.
So I think we've established the county does not own that road.
It sounds that way.
So then, again, why we keep talking about it?
Okay, all right, we have a motion on the floor.
Mr. Chairman,
You've
point of
had two.
information. Mr. Attorney, if the county owns a road and we perceive that we need to maintain a right-of-way which is not part of the actual road right-of-way, over the years, do we acquire rights to that property?
Are you talking about like a type of prescriptive? There's a way to acquire prescriptive title, but I don't necessarily think. I mean, that's a difficult thing to prove.
So if the county maintains something, is there a prescriptive easement to that?
It would have to be. I mean, it's potential if it's maintained. I don't know that in this situation, if it hasn't been maintained in 30 years or whatever, I don't know that it would be a definition. I mean, the converse of it is also too, if one of the reasons for abandoning these types of undeveloped, unmaintained roads is the people that live along those roads could file a writ of mandamus action to order the county basically to go out there and scrape them and maintain them and add additional costs. So it is, for the county does receive a bit of benefit of taking something off the books that hasn't been maintained in years and years, or ever, if that's the case.
I'm just trying to educate myself.
Okay.
Let's move forward. The motion on the floor is to approve the minutes of October 3rd, 2025, regular business meeting. Vote electronically. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. The minutes have been approved. Now we go to authorization for the chairman to sign the ACCG safety discount verification form. Do I hear a motion? We'll do this voice vote, I know that, but
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
we have a motion on the floor to authorize the chairman to sign ACCG safety discount verification form. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
Can you just give us a brief explanation, please?
I'll call on our county manager. He wants a brief explanation of the safety discount verification form. Something we do every year.
Yes, when we usually get money back from ACCG in the terms of a rebate, and it's depending on all the safety things we have to do throughout the year. So then this money will go for additional safety training and things like that.
It's a training thing.
Safety classes.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a verbal vote. We'll start with District 1.
Aye.
District 2.
Aye.
District 3.
Aye.
District 4.
Aye.
Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. I'll be more than happy to sign the ACCG safety discount verification form. Item number 10 is a discussion on how the rollback rate for FY26 went from 5.692 mils to 6.001 mils. And no action will be taken. This is for discussion only. And I think Commissioner Hersey wanted to put this on the agenda, so you have the floor, Commissioner Hersey.
First, let me correct the item. It is the fiscal, well, it is the 2025 tax millage rate that is under the question. As everybody knows, we collect taxes in 2025 really to fund the fiscal 26 budget, so that's why that's there. As the chairman is well aware, I was not present for the September 26 called meeting in which the millage rates were ratified. But in reviewing those and the minutes of the October 3rd regular meeting, I had some concerns, and these concerns are largely under the general heading of transparency. That is, the public was not informed, and to some extent the commissioners were not informed of all of the things that were going on with regard to this. And there were two things that concerned me. One was the fact that it was September 26th when we actually set a ratified a millage rate for the taxes for 2025. Now going back, March 7th of 2025, this board approved a schedule for setting the budget, millage rate, possible public hearings on the millage rate if needed. Under that schedule, we were supposed to have set the millage rate on September the 5th. Why were we delayed by some 20 days? Well, obviously the simple explanation for that is that the tax appraiser's office, tax assessor's office, was delayed in providing a, if you will, preliminary or an accurate net tax digest and eventually using that to set the rollback rates. That delay was due to HB 581 and also which required the tax assessor's office to calculate exemptions based both on the state so-called floating exemption, which had been approved in a previous election, and on any local floating exemption. So Mr. Anglin had to calculate it both ways and present it to the state in both ways in order to give the taxpayer the greater benefit of the two ways of. The other complication, of course, was to figure out how HB 1413 figured into it. This is the senior discount of property tax. As I think everyone is aware, that property tax is a staggered exemption for homesteaders only, and had to be calculated in order for the tax appraiser's office to submit the tax digest to the state for certification. So both those things contributed. Now, the fact that the millage rate was only set on the 26th then delays the time in which tax bills are sent out. You have to, by state law, give 60 days for the time that you send out the tax bills until the taxes are due. So the normal December 1 deadline that the county has used for years is no longer applicable, and instead it will be December the 20th, perhaps a day or two after that. I don't really know what the due date on those bills, since I haven't received my bill yet. But anyway, the explanation, I think, was never properly presented to the public for why we did not keep with the original schedule for setting a millage rate. The second thing that really concerned me about this was the actual millage rate that was set. Back in July, when we first started our budget discussions, a tentative millage rate of, and perhaps Mercy, if you could bring that up, I don't know which one you're gonna, no, the next one, if you put it on, I don't know. Huh? This is the one I sent? No. Did I? I don't know. Back in July, when we began our discussion of budgets, et cetera, and again, I would refer to the March schedule, we were supposed to have received a preliminary digest by June the 27th, which I don't believe we ever did. But we did get a preliminary tax digest and a calculation of the rollback rate, which projected that the rollback millage rate was going to be 5.692 mils. All of our budget discussions were based on that, and we ended up with a proposed budget, which was later approved, which did require in excess of $1 million of taking from the fund balance over $1 million. Actually, it's probably closer to $2 million when all is said and done. And that was based on a millage rate, presumably, to acquire property taxes on a millage rate of 5.692. The millage rate that was actually set on December 26th was, in fact, 6.001 mils. Almost three-tenths of a mil, a little over 3/10 of a mil higher than the number that we were working with in setting the budget. Now, what does that mean for the county budget? Well, it's almost $1 million difference between those two millage rates when you multiply it by the net tax digest. So instead of having to take from the fund balance almost $2 million, we would have to take just a little over $1 million from the fund balance. So in a sense, that was, to me at least, a little bit deceptive. Because I had been working with the number of 5.692 mils, and it came as a surprise to me that the actual rollback rate was 6.001 mils. Why did that happen? Well, the preliminary tax digest that led to the 5.692 mils for the rollback rate failed to take into account the exemptions for the reassessment of existing properties. The final numbers, which I fully agree with and would stipulate that I think that it was proper to actually set those millage rates on the 26th of September. The final one shows approximately $172 million worth of exemptions for reassessment of existing properties, but those same properties were given, due to the sliding tax exemption, $126 million worth of exemptions. So the actual tax due to reassessments was only on the order of $40 million. And that's a simple explanation of why there was a change from 5.692 to 6.001 in terms of the countywide millage rate. What it just concerns me that preliminary millage rate, rollback rate, was not scrutinized more carefully. And I would take as much blame as anyone for not having looked closely at that to see that there was, in fact, no exemptions for the reassessments in that preliminary millage rate. So what is the bottom line? Well, for me at least, there's two things that come about. One is that in the future, we certainly need to pay more attention to the preliminary tax digest and the preliminary calculation of the rollback rate. The second thing would be that when you add up the approved or ratified millage rates for the school board of education, countywide, and for the special service district, which most of us live in. There's a couple of commissioners who are exempted from that. You end up with approximately an 8% increase in taxes that compared to last year. And that 8% increase in taxes in your property tax will occur whether you're entitled to homestead or not homestead. It's not affected by the any exemptions that you might have. If you don't have homestead, your tax bill might go up even more than the 8%, depending upon whether your property was reassessed or not. So it's difficult to calculate what exactly your taxing rate will be, but for those people who live within the city limits, the 0.6 of a mil for the special service district is not included in their county tax or their school tax. So they will, in fact, get a decrease in property taxes for those residents who live within the city limits, not by a lot, but by a small amount. Mr. Chairman, I thought that since we had such a light agenda that I would prolong it a little bit, and I thank you for your attention.
Commissioner McElhaney has to be recognized.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Hersey, do you pay city tax?
Do I pay what?
City tax.
Is the commissioner addressing me directly?
Would you ask Commissioner Hersey if he pays city? Because I'll be glad to trade your increase in special services for my city. I'll be happy to do that.
That is a question which is for another day, and the question really is, why don't we consolidate? Why don't we consolidate the city and the county? And it would increase the county's property tax by about 1 mil, and it would eliminate your city tax.
Again, I'll be glad to trade.
Okay, let me,
Could you encourage city council, please, to consolidate city and county?
we're gonna move right along, and, I'm gonna ask, our county manager, Paul Van Hout, to respond.
So y'all received a letter from the tax commissioner regarding this, and he starts out, "I will be unable to attend the meeting tonight. In response to the inquiry, the rollback rate did not change. I do not mean to be nitpicky. Perhaps there was an estimate that was floated around, but only one real rollback rate. The 6.001 mill rate was calculated and advertised based on the consolidation sheets. I have attached a screenshot of the advertisement from both the city and county website as published in the newspaper. I have also attached the consolidation sheets in their entirety with all new legislative changes relating to property taxation and homestead exemption. This digest process was exceptionally painful this year, as evidenced by our extremely tardy 2025 property tax bills. If there was a 5.692 mill rate document anywhere, it had to have been long before the consolidations were concluded. The school board made the mistake of advertising based on the pre-consolidation estimates. Luckily, our tax assessor is accurate enough that his estimates was close enough to the final numbers that the schools ad passed Department of Revenue's digest submission inspection. I hope it answers your questions. And there's a copy of the email that he wanted put out tonight. So, and also, when we started this, just from my perspective and Linda's perspective, we told you that 5.692 number was extremely preliminary, and however, we were going to do the full rollback rate. So that was on us too, because we didn't know where everything was. So I know I've said that more than once at a couple of the meetings, and I know Linda has said it. It was the preliminary number we needed in June and July to get this process started. So that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. I want to make one statement. Maybe I should keep my mouth shut. But I believe my school tax portion of the bill went up 1.7, 1.8 mils, something like that. It was a lot. And that's a whole lot more than a 0.3. So I just think that our taxes are still, from a county tax rate, we are, a millage rate, we're number 10 in the state of Georgia. So I think that Paul and Linda have done a great job. And I know that we got into some problems because of our software, and we're solving that. So I think
We are number, I believe, 10 or 11 with counties that provide countywide fire and EMS, just to clarify that. So there are counties that are lower, but they don't provide EMS or fire. So that was from the Department of Revenue's report. I think it was in 2024.
We'll go ahead and wrap this up and move along. And as for, oh, okay, I'm sorry. You got one more time.
I do want to make the statement, as I just alluded to, for the commissioner from District 3 to suggest that myself or the District 2 commissioner benefit from living inside the city limits is totally misleading. I pay more taxes because I live inside the city limits, and I don't live inside the city limits by choice. I was forcibly annexed into the city limits. So I want people to understand that by not paying special service districts increase, I'm not getting a deal. I would gladly trade it.
And
Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman, I would echo that. And Commissioner McElhaney is right to point out the distinction between the original city limits in which I live by choice, and for my additional city taxes, I do get services. The distinction is,
I do not.
for those who were annexed 20 or years ago, they're in the city limits, they pay the same city taxes, but they do not get the same services. And that's an item for another day, but that's a key distinction.
Thank all of you for the information that has gone on here.
Mr. Chairman, let me just make sure that we understand that I was not saying that city residents benefit tax-wise compared to non-city residents. I was simply pointing out the difference in 0.6 of a mil for the unincorporated area versus a zero for the city residents. As to whether the city residents get a break tax-wise, I would fully agree that you do not. I mean, services that are provided by the city to enable the city to remain as a municipality and to collect property tax are your city fire, your city police, your garbage collection, which you actually pay for extra, and several other things that contribute to the minimum number of services that the city has to provide to become a municipality. I don't know where that stands in terms of the de-annexation movement. I believe that is in the hands of the city council, and there is no time limit on when they need to respond to that request. So again, I would urge people, if you're interested in de-annexation or if you're interested in consolidation, to appeal to the city council to put it on an agenda sometime and have a discussion on it.
We'll move along now, and you spoke twice.
Well, he spoke 3 times. I just want to make sure that we understand that we want to clear up any misleading comments.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on, and the county manager, do you have a report, please?
Yes, sir. Just one thing this evening. I don't know if you had happened to see the messenger, but the city of Eatonton could not accommodate the Georgia Writers Museum bringing a Smithsonian exhibition here for 6 weeks next April. The Georgia Writers Museum is in consolidation with the Smithsonian Institute, is looking to kick off America's 250th birthday, and Eatonton was selected as the first city in Georgia to host this event. That being said, the Writers Museum, Miss Swindell and Miss Romaine, would like to come and talk to you at the November meeting with the possibility of hosting the Smithsonian exhibition that deals with voting and democracy in this room, and that would impact you all for basically 3 meetings, the second meeting in April and the first 2 meetings in May. They would like this room to bring school kids in. It has bathroom facilities that would accommodate that. It would have school bus parking, which would accommodate that. And they'll be here at the next meeting to talk to you all about it. And if you so wish, you can give them permission to tie up this room. During those 3 meetings, one is typically the ACCG conference, the first meeting in May that we usually skip or postpone to a later date. And we can meet in the small meeting room for those other 2 meetings if you so chose. So that's all I have, sir. It's kind of fun stuff coming on the horizon.
County Attorney Kurt Worthington, do you have anything?
I don't have anything, sir.
We'll move along to the commissioners, District 1.
No
Commissioner
report, sir.
McElhaney. Commissioner 2.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, 2 quick things. Just to remind everyone that early voting is going on right now in both the city and the county. So if you live in Ward 3 in the city like I do, there is a city council election. And at the county level, there are 2 things on the ballot. One is the Public Service Commissioner election. It's a partisan election. Statewide votes on 2 districts, District 2 and District 3, 2 Republican incumbents and 2 Democratic challengers. But because it's a statewide race, it's very competitive, so definitely worthwhile voting in that one. And then, of course, the county has the SPLUS 10 referendum as well, which I'd encourage you to have your say on. Second thing is, as I mentioned before, this weekend, the Butler Baker Alumni Association is having their annual Oktoberfest. They've made some changes this year to try and attract as many people from the community to come and see progress on rehabilitation of the building. And because they've waived vendor fees this year, I'm told there's over 40 vendors coming from far and wide. And if you haven't been out to Butler Baker in a while or ever, I'd encourage you to come and see the historic African American school and meet some of the alumni who have taken so much energy and time to begin to restore it. Thank you. Oh, and sorry, I should clarify, that's this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Alice Walker Drive in the city. Thank you.
District 3.
How about them dogs?
District 4.
As usual, I just want to give my appreciation to all the county employees, the way they present themselves, keeping the roads up, the EMS, the rescue squad, fire. It's been a hard time for our tax assessor this year because I think he had a hard time getting the software in, and that may be probably some of the reason that we were where we were with the appraisals and assessments and everything. But y'all, we live in a good place. There's people coming in here left and right that want what we want. I mean, what we've got. And the meetings coming up, one starting tomorrow, we're going to have to kind of manage that a little bit and keep everything still where everybody wants to be, that everybody wants to be here. And that's all I got to say. Thank y'all.
Commissioner McElhaney wanted to say something.
You reminded me about roads. I'll be meeting with Frazier Thursday to look at roads in District 1.
We had 90 days to get our list together.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Very good. And my comment is concerning Lynn Butterworth, our clerk. Lynn had a little surgery today. Keep her in your prayers. She is home tonight and has to stay bedridden for 24 hours. So keep her in your prayers. She's a wonderful lady, and we certainly think about her. Closing. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Is there discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the electronic vote. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. This meeting is concluded, and I declare it adjourned. Thank you.